On today's broadcast, Michigan corrections officer is killed. Missouri highway trooper's body finally recovered. Officer survives being shot in South Carolina. Are Detroit police precincts taking up business hours? San Francisco sheriff arrested in his first week on the job. 63 pounds of erectile dysfunction drugs seized from a man's luggage. Yes, you heard that right, 63 pounds. Also in this episode, new police products, police sports, calendar of police events, and the ever-popular Dumb Criminal segment. This is your source for national law enforcement news by cops, for cops. This is Police News TV for Tuesday, January 17th, 2012. Now for today's top stories, a Michigan corrections officer shot and killed in robbery. Madison Heights, Michigan, on Saturday at 12:30 a.m., Macomb County Correction Officer Clarence Hammond, 33, was shot and killed. Still wearing his corrections officer uniform, he was arriving home just after working at the corrections facility. According to the family, he and his girlfriend parked their car not far from a light-colored minivan with its doors open, already parked in their vicinity. The family says a gunman got out of the minivan and attempted to rob the couple. The suspect then struck Officer Hammond in the head with his gun and shot him once. Hammond died just steps away from his own front door. The suspect fled the scene and is still at large. Neighbors say there have been several car break-ins recently in the parking lot where Hammond was killed. Correction Officer Hammond was a devoted family man and is survived by his two young sons. Missouri Highway Patrol trooper's body finally recovered. Big Lake, Missouri. On August 1st, 2011, Trooper Fred Guthrie, Jr. and his police K-9 partner, Reed, were on duty in the Big Lake area of Holt County, Missouri. They were helping the public during torrential rains and floodwaters which had devastated the area last August. Since that time, a massive search immediately began in an effort to find the trooper and his K-9. The carcass of the Missouri Highway Patrol K-9 Reed was recovered the next day about 100 yards from Guthrie's patrol truck and boat. K-9 Reed was a 5-year veteran with the Water Patrol Division. The search continued, and on September 28th, the Missouri Highway Patrol had declared Trooper Guthrie dead. In December, hundreds of family members, friends, and fellow officers attended a memorial service for the fallen trooper. Since then, the Missouri Highway Patrol has assigned a trooper every day to remain with a construction crew as they use heavy equipment to repair the damage to the river. Unfortunately, on January 12, 2012, 5 months since Trooper Fred Guthrie Jr. went missing, his remains were found in a brush pile south of where his police K-9 had been recovered. The superintendent of the Missouri Highway Patrol said in a written statement, the recovery of Trooper Guthrie's body will give closure and comfort to the family, the community, and the members of the patrol. Trooper Fred Guthrie Jr. had served with the Missouri State Water Patrol for 17 years until the agency merged into the Missouri State Highway Patrol in January 2011. He was assigned to the Highway Patrol's Water Division when the incident occurred. He was 46 years old and leaves behind his wife Teresa and 3 children, Amber, Dylan, and Cody. Officer shot in North Charleston and survives. North Charleston, South Carolina. At 3 a.m. on Saturday morning, officers from the North Charleston Police Department were searching for a larceny suspect. Officer David Winslet was in his PD uniform driving a marked cruiser when he observed a subject near a gas station who matched the suspect's description. As the officer approached, the suspect shot Officer Winslet twice, hitting him in the chest. However, the officer was wearing his body armor. As Officer Winslet laid on the ground, the suspect then shot him in the knee and fled the scene. The officer never fired his weapon. NCPD Officer David Winslet was rushed to the hospital and was reported to have non-life-threatening injuries, although he is having to undergo surgery for the gunshot to his kneecap. Later that same day, at about 6 p.m., North Charleston police investigators arrested Timothy Darrell Johnson, Creighton Antonio Patterson, Dontre Antoine Durant, and Jerome D. Richardson of North Charleston in connection with the shooting of the North Charleston police officer. Johnson is charged with attempted murder of a police officer, possession of a firearm during a violent crime, possession of a stolen firearm, and assaulting police while resisting arrest. Patterson and Durant are charged with accessory after the fact of attempted murder of a police officer, and Richardson was charged with unlawful carrying of a pistol. During a bond hearing on Sunday, Johnson was granted no bond on his attempted murder charge. Patterson and Durant were each given $200,000 bonds on their accessory charges. Charges filed in Utah officer's death, Salt Lake City, Utah. Charges had been filed on the suspect who used a semi-automatic pistol to shoot 6 Ogden police officers. The arrested suspect is Matthew David Stewart, a 37-year-old Army veteran who was suspected of growing marijuana. The 6 police officers were conducting a raid on the suspect's home when the suspect opened fire on them. Reportedly, Stewart told an acquaintance last summer that if police ever raided his Ogden house, he would go out in a blaze of glory and shoot to kill. Prosecutors say Stewart shot and killed Agent Jared Francom of the Weber-Morgan Narcotics Task Force during the January 4th raid. Additionally, 3 other members of the Ogden Police Department, a member of the Weber County Sheriff's Office, and a member of the Roy Police Department were also wounded in the shooting. 2 of the officers from the Narcotics Strike Force remain hospitalized in fair condition. 3 others have been released. Matthew David Stewart will be charged with capital murder, marijuana cultivation, and 7 attempted aggravated murder charges. The charges were enhanced by a dangerous weapons count. Weber County prosecutors also filed notice that they will seek the death penalty if Stewart is convicted. Think you're safe once your suspects are in handcuffs? Man accused of stealing an Indiana police car is caught. Knox, Indiana. A man accused of stealing a police cruiser while handcuffed in northwest Indiana, then using the police radio to ask how to unlock the cuffs, has turned himself in after 2 days on the run. Late on Thursday night, Indiana State Police said cooperation from his family helped make the peaceful surrender possible. Originally, William Francis Blankenship, 22, was stopped for speeding. He was then arrested near a gas station on Tuesday night on narcotics charges. Blankenship sat in the back of the police cruiser, handcuffed behind his back, as Couts officers began searching his vehicle. Moments later, Blankenship somehow got in the front seat of the police cruiser and drove it away. He then used the police radio to ask police dispatch where to find the car's cigarette lighter and a key to unlock his handcuffs. Sergeant David Johnson said, "I probably had a really dumb look on my face for maybe a half a second." Johnston, an 11-year veteran, said he believes Blankenship managed to contort himself to get the handcuffs in front of him, then hopped in the front seat, putting the car into reverse before pulling away. The squad car was found in a drainage ditch Wednesday, and authorities recovered the police weapons which were stored in the cruiser. William Francis Blankenship is being held without bond on a preliminary charge of auto theft. More criminal charges could be filed. Man who escaped after Baltimore cop attacked is arrested. Baltimore, Maryland. A video of 2 uniformed police officers trying to handcuff a suspect on the street has gone viral on the internet. In the video, it shows 2 officers trying to arrest a man who was down on the pavement during the daylight hours of New Year's Eve. A neighborhood crowd can be seen gathering around the 2 officers as they were trying to make the arrest. Suddenly, an unknown person from the crowd got behind one of the officers and tackled him, allowing the suspect being handcuffed to escape and run from the area. The officers were able to arrest the attacking suspect seconds later as backup arrived. The attacking suspect, Manuel Emel, is 40 years old and was charged with assaulting a law enforcement officer, disorderly conduct, and obstructing and hindering a police officer. A week and a half later, the initial suspect, whom the officers were trying to handcuff on the pavement, was arrested. Shershalyn Bond Brooks, also 40 years old, was charged with escaping arrest and assault and disorderly conduct. Because the video went viral on the internet, police acquired leads that enabled them to identify Bond Brooks. Outbreak of violence stuns New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana, just 1 week after Mayor Mitch Landrieu publicly announced how safe the city was after recent major events, he had to calm the public's fears of a fresh wave of violence. In just an 18-hour period, 17 people were shot, 6 were killed. An elementary school was locked down and evacuated, and shots were fired at police twice. In all, 12 people have been murdered in New Orleans, and in the first 12 days of the year, at least 24, including a 12-year-old girl, have been wounded in shootings. Referring to this recent crime wave, the mayor is quoted as saying, "This is a battle for the heart and soul of New Orleans." Just 18 months ago, New Orleans hired its new police superintendent, Ronald Serpis. Per capita, New Orleans' murder rate was 10 times the national average in 2010, with 51 homicides per 100,000 residents last year. Compare that to New York City with less than 7 per 100,000, or 23 in similar-sized Oakland, California. Police Superintendent Serpis stated, "We're taking the fight to the streets," referring to the more aggressive style of policing to curb violence. NOPD is a 1,300 officer force with a city population of over 343,000 and is the 46th largest metropolitan area in the U.S. The entire community has to be engaged in this fight, Mayor Landrieu said. You cannot put a police officer on every corner of every street in the city of New Orleans, and if you did, I'm not sure even that would work. San Francisco sheriff faces 3 charges linked to alleged abuse. San Francisco, California. Less than a week after being sworn into office, the new San Francisco sheriff, Ross Mercarimi, was charged Friday with domestic violence and 2 other misdemeanors in connection with a New Year's Eve fight with his wife. Eliana Lopez rushed to a neighbor's house after the New Year's Eve incident with a bruised arm. This week, she says she has no complaint against her husband, but the neighbor's videotape of the bruise, along with text messages between the neighbor and Lopez, led District Attorney George Gascon to charge 50-year-old Mercarimi with domestic violence battery, child endangerment, and dissuading a witness. Mercarimi's wife, Eliana Lopez, is a former Venezuelan TV star. Mercarimi will likely face tremendous pressure to resign from his new post. If he fails to do so and is convicted of the charges, he would be California's only sheriff barred from carrying a gun and forced to attend weekly counseling.
Hello, I'm Jill Adrian, and here are a few more news stories. Business hours for Detroit precincts. Detroit, Michigan. A policy designed to put more than 100 cops back on the beat went into effect this week in the city of Detroit. According to Detroit Police Chief Ralph Guthrie, 6 precincts located in rougher areas of the city will soon be closed to the public after 4 p.m. The first precinct closed this week, and although there will always be officers in the building, anyone wishing to report a crime must do so with a phone in the lobby linked to a round-the-clock crime reporting system. Detroit PD is already down 1,300 officers from 10 years ago, and in the midst of the city's $200 million deficit, may lose 100 more without a government grant. The concept of closing precincts, as well as the district headquarters after business hours, is not a money-saving measure, but intended to relocate officers that may have been stuck behind a desk all night and put them back on patrol. In an idea stolen from the Milwaukee Police Department, officers such as those on light duty will be manning the 24-hour call center and handling non-emergency calls, and the officers that previously handled those calls at the local precincts will be freed up to cover areas seeing a rise in crime. Smaller police departments in the suburbs of Detroit already have similar closures in place, but none the size, 139 square miles, of Detroit. Detroit Mayor Dave Bing and Chief Guthrie, well aware of their city's violent crime rate, prefer to make cuts in areas other than jobs, though 1,000 city jobs are already on the chopping block. Chief Guthrie wanted it made clear that precincts won't be abandoned at night, but there will be no access to front desk areas. Guthrie wants citizens to acquaint themselves with the 24-hour crime line for non-emergencies. We have done a disservice to our community by spreading ourselves thin, giving citizens the belief that we will respond to things that are not an emergency, Guthrie said. The new policy is for those brave men and women that are overtaxed out there, answering calls for service. Chief Guthrie hopes to see 100 to 150 additional men and women out on patrol. Lake County Sheriff announces layoffs. Lake County, Ohio. On Thursday, January 12th, the Lake County Sheriff's Office eliminated 5 deputy sheriff's positions due to cuts in the 2012 road patrol budget. 4 deputy sheriffs were notified Thursday that their last day of service will be January 28, 2012. The 5th deputy was spared due to the retirement of Captain Lonnie Sparkman. 55. That's the total number of full-time employees laid off or not replaced since 2009. Also since 2009, the number of deputies on patrol has been reduced from 36 to 17. Of those 17 remaining patrol deputies, 7 are paid for between Concord and Paynesville Township. With the exception of the Central Communications Division, the Lake County Sheriff's Office was staffed by 189 full-time employees in 2009. Since then, 29% of its staff has been laid off or not replaced, resulting in a current full-time staff of only 134. Sadly, 13 part-time employees have also been laid off due to reductions in the funding of the Sheriff's Office budget by the Commissioner's Office. 2 California officers lauded for toddler's rescue. Banning, California. Kudos to 2 officers from the Banning, California Police Department who were honored this past week at a city council meeting. In recognition of their outstanding efforts in the rescue of a toddler that had gone unresponsive and stopped breathing after falling into a swimming pool, Officer Brian Callahan and Officer Mike Bennett each received a life-saving award. Banning Chief of Police Leonard Purvis reported that on December 11, 2011, his patrol officers were advised that a baby had fallen into a pool on West Wilson Street. Officer Bennett arrived on scene within 30 seconds and found little Silas Martin not breathing. Bennett immediately began CPR and was quickly aided by Officer Callahan, who arrived on scene soon after. Both officers continued performing CPR until they were relieved by California Fire Department personnel. Police Chief Purvis said in a statement, "Because of their devotion to duty and team effort to revive the baby, young Silas Martin, 18 months old, survived the ordeal. Their actions brought great credit upon the Banning Police Department, and I am very proud of their commitment to protect and serve all members of the community with honor and distinction." Well-recovered Silas attended the council meeting, along with his grateful and teary-eyed mother, Timmy Diaz. My guess is that Callahan and Bennett would just say they were doing their jobs, but we think it's awesome and worth another mention. Great job, guys. Dog the Bounty Hunter episode makes no mention of pepper spray spat with Colorado Sheriff. Grand Junction, Colorado. The A&E TV show sensation Dwayne "Dog" Chapman may get the last word in a spat with a Colorado sheriff over an arrest involving pepper spray. Mesa County Sheriff Stan Hilke criticized Chapman last summer, saying he excessively pepper sprayed a fugitive and then took him into the sheriff's office without first decontaminating the man. Surveillance videos in the Grand Junction Sheriff's lobby show people having coughing fits, thus backing up Sheriff Hilke's claim. The A&E TV show Dog the Bounty Hunter episode aired last Wednesday. However, this scene was omitted from the final broadcast. Jewish sheriff's deputy wins right to trial in Mel Gibson rant case, Los Angeles, California. The Los Angeles County deputy sheriff who arrested Mel Gibson 6 years ago and endured an anti-Semitic rant from the actor has won the right to sue his superiors over the way he was treated after the highly publicized incident. Deputy James Mee, who is Jewish, claims his supervisors, Lieutenant Crystal Miranda and Sergeant Kevin Finch, ordered him to delete anti-Semitic remarks from his official report and instead put them in a supplemental report that would be marked confidential. After complaining about this order, Mee was overlooked multiple times for other positions in the sheriff's department. He is suing on grounds of religious discrimination and a hostile work environment. A Superior Court judge ruled that Mee could proceed to trial on religious and hostile work environment grounds, but dismissed his claim for retaliation, citing lack of evidence. Gibson was stopped on July 28, 2006 for drunk driving in Malibu, resulting in a tirade of profanity and anti-Semitic language directed at Mee. 63 pounds of erectile dysfunction drug seized from man's luggage. LAX Airport, California. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol officers at LAX confiscated 63.3 pounds of an erectile dysfunction chemical from a man's luggage. The bust happened at the Tom Bradley International Terminal. The substance was found during a secondary inspection of 2 pieces of carry-on luggage belonging to a 40-year-old Korean national. The man claimed the powder was a Chinese herb. The pouches were confiscated and samples were sent to a laboratory for testing, where the powder was identified as tadalafil, or commonly known as Cialis, which is used to treat erectile dysfunction. Officials say the passenger did not have approval to transport the chemical.
In our new product segment, Traffic System introduces LED scene lights. A company called Traffic Safety Systems has developed a low-cost, easy-to-implement LED lighting solution for first responders at active scenes. The lights are available in 7-foot and 9.5-foot high models, which simply attach to the vehicle's trailer hitch. Once attached to the hitch, the lighting unit can be extended higher via the unit's aluminum telescoping pole. The lights give off 15,000 lumen of LED light and is powered by the 20-amp trailer electrical circuit plug that is already a part of the trailer hitch. The basic model extends 9.5 feet and inserts into a standard 2-inch car trailer hitch. It has a bright D15 quartz halogen 150-watt lamp head. The plug is a 7-way round standard trailer light connector. An optional insert mount converts the hitch fit to 1.25 inches. Other options include an Evolution LED 15,000 lumen and Spectra LED 15,000 lumen 12-volt light head, LED traffic arrow board, a storage bag, and a generator tripod stand. The unit sells for around $1,600 for the Evolution V15 model with 15,000 lumen of LED scene lighting. Go to the PoliceNewsTV website and this episode's show notes for direct internet links to this product and the stories from this show.
Bridgeport police create their own iPhone app, which has already solved crimes. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Bridgeport police say their new smartphone app is helping them solve crimes. Bridgeport is the only city on the East Coast to have such an application. Bridgeport saw 2 homicides in the first week of the new year, and now police are hoping a new smartphone app will encourage residents to help officers solve these crimes. Launched last October, Bridgeport say the iWatch Bridgeport PD app is the future of policing. BPD Lieutenant David Daniels III said, "In a city that has 143,000 people, 18 square miles, and 400 cops working 24 hours a day, this is the ultimate cop." So how does it work? Lieutenant Daniels explains, "When you want to submit a tip, you open up a menu and it will give you the ability to give a detailed tip. And if you want to send pictures, you can send pictures and video. Once a citizen hits send, it goes straight to the police. Residents remain anonymous, something police say makes people comfortable enough to come forward with information."
I have this "I'm not going to snitch" mentality, which is really stupid, but this gives you the ability to report crime anonymously, and you don't have to worry about any of that.
Police say it's revolutionizing the way they fight crime, and they say it's working. Someone who witnessed the New Year's Day homicide used the BPD iWatch app to send police some crucial information. He said, "Right after that murder occurred, we got an iWatch tip from someone who had been in the area. The information was credible, it's panning out, and I think it will actually help us solve that crime." To get this iPhone app, a citizen simply goes to the Apple Application Store and downloads it. It's free and it's available in both English and Spanish. In our police sports segment, Boston Police hockey team beats Philly Police at Winter Classic game. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On New Year's Eve, the Boston Police Department's hockey team played the Philadelphia Police hockey team at the Winter Classic tournament at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. The Winter Classic game, which was free to the public, was also a benefit to support fallen firefighters and police officers through the Fraternal Order of Police Survivors Fund and the Police Foundation. On the ice, a 5-goal surge in a span of 6 minutes rocketed Boston PD past Philadelphia PD, wrapping up a 9-2 victory for Boston. "It's a great cause," Boston Police Squad coach Mark McHale said. "Hockey itself has been a big part of my life, and it's a part of these players' lives. The force itself is a big backer of the Boston Police hockey team." Boston's hockey team won last year's contest as well, winning 10-2 in a showcase held at Fenway Park. In our weekly segment devoted to assisting fellow officers in need, Portage Police Dog recovering from emergency surgery. Portage, Indiana. It's the goal of anyone working in law enforcement. Work hard, stay safe, excel at your job, and when the time arrives, enjoy a well-deserved retirement. Well, for one officer with the Portage, Indiana Police Department, that's become a reality, albeit much too soon. You see, the officer is Eros, a German Shepherd police canine. After 8 years of working to sniff out drugs and locate bad guys, side by side with partner Sergeant Mark Monks, Eros wasn't able to start his shift last Monday night. His front legs had limited movement, and his rear legs wouldn't move at all. Having had some difficulty in the fall with wobbly legs and a newfound disdain for jumping in the cruiser, Monks took Eros to local vets and then to Purdue University North Central, where they considered possible neurological problems. It was at a Chicago veterinary clinic that Eros was diagnosed with a ruptured disc in his neck. The police canine underwent emergency surgery and as of Thursday is recovering. "I just can't walk away after 8 years, Monks said. If there's a chance to fix him, we wanted to take that chance." Portage paid for testing for the canine, but Sergeant Monks will personally pay for the dog's surgery and care following his recuperation. Eros will have to hang up his badge and live out the rest of his doggy days with Sergeant Monks and his family. "He's perfectly healthy other than that," Monks said. The cost for Eros' surgery is expected to exceed $4,000. If you're interested in helping Sergeant Monks and his partner Eros, a donation account has been set up specifically to assist with expenses related to his surgery and care. Donations can be sent to Portage Police Canine Eros at Regional Federal Credit Union, 389 West US 6, Valparaiso, Indiana, 46385. Go to the PoliceNewsTV.com website and see this episode's show notes for direct internet links for this story and the address to where donations can be sent for this worthy cause.
In our police history segment, on January 13, 1929, Wyatt Earp, the legendary frontiersman, lawman, and gunfighter, died in Los Angeles, California. January 14, 1998, Charles Barkley, basketball player, pleads not guilty to an assault charge. January 15, 1981, Hill Street Blues debuts on NBC TV. January 16, 1935, Ma Barker and her boys were shot and killed in Ocklawaha, Florida. 1967, Lucius Emerson becomes first Southern black sheriff since Reconstruction in Macon County, Alabama.
In the calendar segment of our show, conferences. The yearly SHOT trade show will be starting today in Las Vegas, Nevada, and runs from January 17th to the 20th, 2012. SHOT stands for the Shooting, Hunting, Outdoor Trade Show and is the largest and most comprehensive trade show for all professionals involved with shooting sports and hunting and law enforcement industries. It's being held at the Sands Expo and Convention Center. If you're unable to attend the show, you can go to the website policelisting.com for a great overview of the top 10 most important products announced at the show. The policelisting.com website is by law enforcement officers and is a great resource in all new police products and weapons. Check them out and support one of our own. In the training calendar, on February 8th to 9th, 2012 in Atlantic City, New Jersey, there's a Caliber Press Street Survival Seminar. The Street Survival Seminar will help you develop the values, inner strength, and winning mindset you need to keep yourself motivated, effective, and safe on the street. Gain valuable insight into new, less lethal options available to you. Learn to use crisis rehearsal and mental preparation strategies to prepare yourself for virtually any situation you may face, on the job or off. Prepare yourself and your family to take immediate, potentially life-saving action during an unexpected off-duty encounter. Overcome the routine nature of the job and avoid one of the deadliest enemies in law enforcement, complacency. Navigate the frustrations of working within a bureaucracy and the stress of working your beat. Develop the perceptive skills needed to effectively hunt terrorists in your own backyard. Gain the mental edge you need to survive and win. This event will offer a dynamic 2-day street survival seminar in the Atlantic City, New Jersey area. Don't miss this opportunity to attend the most riveting and eye-opening experience available in law enforcement training today. It is taught by 2 law enforcement legends, retired Arizona Trooper Lieutenant Dave Smith, aka Buck Savage, and his wife, retired Chicago area Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith. Don't miss it, because the lessons learned here could save your life. It will cost $215 per officer, $75 for a spouse. Go to caliberpress.com/training/events or go to the PoliceNewsTV.com website and this episode's show notes for direct internet links to these events and the stories from this show. In police officer job openings, the Baltimore City Police Department in Maryland is accepting applications for police officers ending on April 1st, 2012. You must be at least 20 years and 9 months old and have a high school diploma. Starting salary is $42,290 annually.
In our Dumb Criminal segment, alleged carjacker arrested when he stops for gas. Coos Bay, Oregon, an alleged carjacker certainly didn't check the fuel gauge on the car he's accused of taking from a grocery store parking lot. Officers in Coos Bay quickly arrested the man when he stopped a few miles away to buy gas. Authorities say the man threw a woman out of the car Tuesday and sped off. The man pulled into a gas station and asked to pay cash, but the attendant was suspicious because the driver was agitated. The attendant says the man was obviously relieved when the police drove past the station, but officers drove around the back and cornered the suspect. Police say he tried to drive away but crashed the stolen Honda Civic into a light post a few feet away from the gas station exit. 21-year-old James Brown was arrested in the incident on multiple charges.
Springfield woman gets arrested after complaining she'd bought fake crack cocaine. Springfield, Missouri. It was one of those times when it was a big mistake to call 911. Suzanne Basham, age 47, summoned the Springfield police to her home on Tuesday and complained to officers that she had been ripped off when she bought crack cocaine that turned out to be ordinary sugar. Basham then asked the officers to go arrest her drug dealer and get her $40 back. Instead, the officers found Basham to still be in possession of her crack pipe and arrested her on a misdemeanor drug paraphernalia charge. According to Corporal Matt Brown, a spokesman for the Springfield Police Department, officers did indeed go to the home of the man whom Basham claimed sold her the fake crack, but he denied being involved and wasn't charged. The lesson to be learned: hide your crack pipe before calling 911. Charges on hold for Frosty the Snowman after holiday parade arrest. Chestertown, Maryland. A man in a Frosty the Snowman costume was arrested last November during the annual Christmas parade in Chestertown on Maryland's Eastern Shore. He's accused of scuffling with police and kicking at a police dog. Police say 52-year-old Kevin Michael Walsh became agitated when a dog-handling officer tried to escort him away from the crowd. "I never touched the dog," Walsh stated. "I might have faked a kick." He was charged with second-degree assault, disorderly conduct, failure to obey a reasonable and lawful order, and resisting arrest. 2 sets of cuffs for Frosty? Finally, Walsh said, "I'd like to be the Frosty the Snowman again because I've done such a good job all these years." We here at Police News TV would like to thank you for watching.
You can watch or listen to our daily news broadcast on your large HD TV, your laptop, your tablet computer, smartphone, or MP3 player. Your Police News TV anytime, anywhere, because here at Police News TV, we've got you covered.
Also, you can like us on Facebook, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter. We have many other ways to watch and listen to this broadcast, so go to our website, PoliceNewsTV.com, to find out how. If you wish to give us feedback or submit a news story, you can email us at contact@PoliceNewsTV.com or call us at 727-437-2207. As always, we value your input.
This show is dedicated to Macomb County Corrections Officer Clarence Hammond, Missouri Highway Patrol Trooper Fred Guthrie Jr. and his canine Reed, and the recovering North Charleston, South Carolina police officer David Winslet. Let's keep them and their families in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
So until next time, to all our brothers and sisters in blue out there, stay safe and see you next time on Police News TV, where we've got you covered.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. And hey! Let's be careful out there.